right, CG. All right, cool. Let's make sure.
All right.
Boom.
How does the how do I look with my leg crossed? Should I bring my
Oh
leg
no,
down?
you fine. You
Okay.
fine. You fine. I mean, we in there now, so.
All right. Is this live?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
All right. Man, welcome to the Faith and Fire podcast. A podcast is all about sharing God's wisdom, insight, revelation, hope, and love, one conversation at a time. I am your host, Ken Bishop. Everybody say welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Guess what? I didn't come back on my own. Y'all know I didn't come back on my own. Y'all look at this handsome fella right here. Come on, CG, what going on with you?
What is going on, man?
Come on. Charles C.G. Goady. All right, so listen, first of all, it's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute.
I thought about this on the way over here. We were in a different world the last time. We were in a different world the last time.
Yeah, different world, different space. Like when we were doing Faith and Fire, studioing and carrying on, like, bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Things were. I mean, I was just sitting there thinking about it. Not even making a political statement. It was a different administration. The world was literally a different place 2 years ago.
Man, and then the world was a different place. We were in a different place, and I think, it's just beyond that, though. You know what I'm saying? I think beyond that, you'd be surprised to hear someone say there's still more maturation, there's still more growth after 40. You know what I'm saying? Because from 40 to 45, big difference. From 43 to 45, big difference. So yeah, a lot has changed. So listen, y'all. This is how we get down. Y'all already know. For those my fire starters out there, you know how we get down. So it's about to go down. I have a few questions that I'm going to toss at my boy. But before we do that, I want you guys to know the premise of this evening's live is called On the Other Side of Sunday. So I'm going to kick it over to CG so he can kind of share this with you, because I think it's brilliant. And I got some subsequent questions for you, Doc. So come on, man. How did On the Other Side of Sunday come about?
Well, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and one question came up a while back, and somebody asked me, when was the last time you felt alive? And I had to think back, and I said the answer was when I was on Faith and Fire.
Yeah.
And so that's just been, churning in the back of my mind, simmering, if you will. And then was really talking about what ministry looks like, or could look like now, and what it is that it doesn't have to be, what it isn't that it could be, but in that was just like, I need a word.
Yeah.
I need advice.
Yeah.
I need thoughts that will carry me beyond Sunday.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
And 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 there are. I mean, you can go to church and you can get a sermon that
Yeah.
you can, depending on where you go, some of them you can kind of chew on that and process that, and that's good. Sometimes thinking about what ministry could be, sometimes we're focused on um, love this month, or we're focused on
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness this month, and those themes are not bad.
Right.
But if that's not what I'm dealing with right now in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I may not, and we can always work on forgiveness, and we can always work on that. But if I've got a real situation,
Mm-hmm.
I need a relevant
Yeah.
conversation to
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I'm at right now and how I can live just a better Christian life.
Yeah.
Not just on Sunday, but there's a lot of times that what happens on Sunday and the way that we move Monday through Saturday
Bruh.
don't match up.
Bruh. No, that makes total sense, man. I mean, especially when you think about on the other side of Sunday, a lot of times what we end up hearing with a perspective like that, not necessarily that statement, but a perspective like that is, okay, what do you do when the sermon is over?
Mm-hmm.
Sermon is over. Sunday service is done. You didn't hug, shook the hands and kissed the babies and talked to everybody in the vestibule. You know what I'm talking about? Like service been out at 1:30. You ain't
That
left the
sounds
parking
like
lot till 4.
1985.
You know what I'm talking about?
In the vestibule.
You ain't left the vestibule till about 4. Like, church is done.
Mm-hmm.
But Monday morning hits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, what do you remember from Sunday? How impactful was that message?
Mm-hmm.
How much did it actually mean?
Mm-hmm. And then if you work in ministry, it's even harder, whether you volunteer at any level,
Mm-hmm.
because when I've worked in ministry and I've done sound,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to the sermon. I'm listening for how the sermon sounds.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to what the stream looks like and all of those things. And so I could not, I would walk, folks would be like, oh, service was good. And I had no idea what it sounded like. I mean, I knew what it sounded like.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the pastor talked about. I could not tell you. And so it wasn't until, when it was kind of toward the end of when we were doing 2024, I kind of stepped away for a minute,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to church, and you know how excited I was. I was like, I could tell you what he preached on, like, because you're working, you're doing 50 million things, to make sure everything works. So, that's definitely something else too, man.
Listen, I had to write this down just right now. While you real time talk right now.
Okay.
Because you said I got to hear what it sounded like, but not what was said. Like that's.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, bro? There's so many people that get in there and they know what it sounds like, but they have no idea what was actually said.
No.
The worship sounded good, but didn't worship. You know what I'm saying? The preaching, the elements, everything looked and sounded good. So this is church because it looked good and it sounded good, but when you get home, church is no longer reflected in you,
right?
Because all you did was observe. You didn't actually take in, soak in, consume. You just observe. Okay, all right. Well, see, that's what I be talking about because you're already starting.
Well, it reminds me of, I got an opportunity. I was so excited. It was a great opportunity. I got a chance to work the Manpower Conference with Bishop Jakes, like, oh my gosh, 20 some years ago. And it's just, volunteer type thing. And we helped with merchandise, selling the VHS tapes. This is how long ago it was.
Bruh.
DVDs and VHS tapes and CDs and cassettes. And so, but I heard, Bishop, And it seemed, here's the statement that I made. The statement that I made was, boy, Bishop preached today. And somebody asked me, oh, well, what did he preach about? Like, what was it in it? And I was like, well, I don't know. I ain't really here. I mean, I heard him hooping and hollering and folks going crazy, and I heard all of that. And I'm like, man, it's amazing in there. But I couldn't tell you what was talked about because I didn't get a chance to hear it and get the breakthrough for myself.
Bruh. Okay. So, all right. let's rewind. On the other side of Sunday, though, what you did mention was also not just as the observer, right, as the congregant, as the parishioner, but as a ministry leader. What does it look like on the other side of Sunday as a ministry leader that ain't doing Sundays a whole lot?
So, that's different. And I mean, you put me on the spot. And so it's different. I'm in this space where I'm not doing Sundays a whole lot. I am getting my word. I'm staying plugged in. In the Bible study that we do, I mean, that's really where growth really happens, right? So if anybody's ever done the Experiencing God Bible study, it is phenomenal. I highly recommend doing it. And so doing that, I did a discipleship program. So I'm doing those kind of things to kind of stay connected and plugged in. But I'm really just in this space of just, again, looking at like, what does ministry look like? What could it look like? How can I be a part of doing God's work, but not doing, okay, I'm trying to stay.
Come on.
I want to do God's work, but I don't want to do. I'm not trying to fill some person's own agenda, ego, whatever. I want to do what God wants.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of struggling in that where it's like, okay, how can I do this without doing all this other
extra?
Yeah, all this other fluff.
all this other fluff. Yep, that's great.
My sister kind of referred to it as whipped cream. It can taste sweet. It can look good, taste good.
Yeah,
but it didn't have any.
There's no substance. Yeah, whipped cream by itself as a pup cup. Like
right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And who's just gnawing on whipped cream by itself just for the heck of it?
Right.
Like if that's the only thing left in the fridge. Okay. All right. I digress. I
mean,
I digress because. Yeah, that go. Woo.
This won't be the faith and fire. This will be something. It'll be fire.
You know what I'm talking about? Wait a minute. Don't let there be no recall on the whipped cream. Okay, no, just, bruh. All right. So these recalls though have been nuts.
They're crazy.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I digress. All right, y'all already know. Y'all already know what it is. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna hit you with it.
All
right. So, what does it look like now? Still having a calling, still having ministry in you, but not really being active. You know what I'm saying? Like what does that look like now? Like
it's interesting. It looks like a couple things, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It not even low key. It high key feels good. To not have to get up at 6:30, 7 a.m.
Bruh.
on Sunday, and then know that you're not going to get home, get back, get done until Sunday afternoon, and then you may have something that don't have a 3 p.m. service somewhere,
Bruh.
or have, something. So it feels good to be able to go to church,
Yeah.
and not be responsible. Oh my gosh.
No,
I went to this show.
you said it now.
So the church, shout out to Faith Fellowship in Red Oak. But I've gone a number of times and love it. That's why I did the discipleship program.
Mm.
But there was a problem with the stream.
Mm.
And I was like, wait, I don't have to do anything. Like, this isn't
on you.
This isn't my problem.
It ain't on you.
Oh, good luck. May God be with you. And so was just like, wow, like that.
He cover you in peace.
Right.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Man.
And so that part feels good. I do it. The other part is, if I'm being honest, I still struggle at times somewhat, I guess haunted might be the word, but of the voices of leaders in the past. What you're supposed to do, even from 20 years ago, from when I was at the Potter's House and some of the youth members, youth leaders, and some of the expectations that they had on you and for you and how you're supposed to do this or whatever. And so I still, I've gone through this. Well, I'm supposed to do this. I got to. Why?
Right.
What,
Right.
Why? Why am I supposed? Who? And then who said?
Who said that I had to do it?
And because, and really, in the who said is, did God say?
That part.
So I'm trying to grow in that.
Yeah.
In that area.
Man. Okay. Well, I think I should probably answer that question too. That would be fair, huh?
Yeah. So you asked me all these questions that, first of all, he's put me on the spot. I have typically what we do with Faith and Fire is I usually don't know the topic until we kind of get here. And then I'm like, hey, what are we talking about today? And then whatever. And he was like, oh, I got some questions for you. Right before we go live. Oh, I got some questions. Really? Really, kid? Really? Okay. So, so I'm totally, this is just all it's uncut. It's live, uncut. Mom, I'm sorry. You're right. Mom, I'm sorry. I hope, please, I hope I didn't embarrass nobody.
Woo-wee. All right. But, hey, again, the whole point for those that don't know, those that might be catching wind of this for the first time and had never heard of Faith and Fire podcast, I say it, and that's a part of our intro, but it's not just our intro. It is the foundation for Faith and Fire. It is all about sharing God's wisdom, insight, His revelation, His hope, and His love. One conversation at a time. That's the key point. One conversation at a time. So every time I sit down with CG or with anybody, it's a conversation. And when's the last time you had a scripted conversation? Right? If it is a scripted conversation, it ain't a conversation. Somebody either getting some straightening or getting talked to. But, so that's the premise. That's the premise.
Touche.
That's the premise. But I will answer that, man. I think especially for me, man, it's been different. It's been different because, like you said, there's a space where there's expectations, not just from those around us, but the expectations of what we've learned, the expectations of what we've come to understand leadership in church to be, ministering, pastoring, so forth, so on. And when it starts to look different from that, you know what I mean? You either pump the brakes, right? Or you start to look at how you can revert. The latter has not happened. Like there ain't no going back. Like I don't see a going back for me, not right now.
Okay.
So ministry for me looks like this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It looks like this. It looks like MySAU. Shout out to MySAU and Mr. 80/20 Nation, right?
Shout out to mine say you because
Yeah,
that's been on point.
Hey,
That's
man,
my toes have been stepped
bruh,
on
bruh.
Tuesdays
Now
and
see
Thursday
why good
morning
for that.
for a lot. Yeah,
Now see why
for
good for
real.
that. See why good for just I'm talking for army marching all over your joints. I'm talking Roman soldier coming through. Yeah, but it's been amazing. So being a part of Mindset U, being part of the Genesis podcast, being a part of the Genesis Summit, like that's been ministry, right? Counseling and sharing, and that's been ministry. And one thing that Pop, shout out to Pop. Pop told me before, he was like, grandson, you talking about a you know square peg round hole square peg type situation. Like there is no box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at first, when we think about that, when you try to quantify that, there's a space where it can be very pride filled.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You can't box me in. Ain't no locking me in. I'm just all out of the boundaries, going against the grain, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, for real, thinking outside the box will have you isolated. ASAP. Going against the grain
Mm-hmm.
will make you more infamous than famous.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being a pastor without a flock will have you looked at like you are nuts. How can you call yourself that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been in this space where there are some folks that will still refer to me as Pastor Ken, and that's fine. Man, hey, that's what you want to call me. Appreciate you. But I'm in a space where I don't require that. Obviously, I don't require that. You don't have to. I'm Ken, and that's fine. Because we talked about this some time ago. I'm a husband
Mm-hmm.
even before me and B got married. You know what I'm saying? It's who I am.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So pastoring, caring for people, which is what that's we definitely go on that. Get on my soapbox about that one. But being in ministry is who I am. I don't need to have it quantified by the things that we've quantified it by in order for it to have validity. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, I'm figuring out how to walk that space more and more daily where I'm really less concerned about your preconceived understandings of these things. And I'm more concerned about what did Jesus show us? What did he teach the disciples? How did they move? How did they move that was antithetical to how other people were moving? What was the difference, right? Because he didn't go and pull. Christ could have went to the synagogue and picked him some folk.
But he didn't pick anybody from
He did not pick anybody from the synagogue. He could have went to the Sadducees and found them a few. He could have went to the Pharisees and found them a few. Neither of those groups. Neither of those groups. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go get the blue collar, the ones that y'all really don't want to deal with because they collected money for the government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when I look at this space that I'm in now, I kind of think about it along those lines. It's ministry is where God positions you in that moment. But being a minister or being one called is who you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have an episode coming out on Genesis podcast that'll be dropping Sunday, and see why I mentioned something that's actually pretty dope, and that was, David. David was anointed king, but still had to turn around and go back.
Right.
To the, you know what I'm talking about? Oil poured. Now go back to your job.
Right. Go back. to taking care of the sheep.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And not for a week or a weekend.
No,
For a good
grip, man, for a while. And then even after he transitioned, then you go into Saul's house. You only got there after you killed Goliath, but that still didn't make you king in everybody else's eyes, not even your brother's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I think
then you hiding and running and hiding and all this other stuff.
Bruh, your mentor got a hit out on you. Like, come on, man.
Right.
So yeah, I think like I said, for me, this space on the other side of Sunday is truly Monday through Saturday, and I'm trying my level best to make sure that I'm out of God's way and in His will, so that Monday through Saturday I'm showing up for people who don't show up on Sundays. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's the space that I'm in, man. That's the space that I'm in.
Well, but if I'm truly, I like what you just said, and if I'm truly ministering, right? Somebody asked me, and they were like, "Well, I didn't know you were a Christian. You didn't say anything about being in ministry or whatever." And I was like, "But if I have to say that, I'm not doing it right,
bruh."
Like there should be something different in not in what I say, but there should be something different in the way that I talk throughout the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The way that I walk, just that what I'm hoping is that people are like, when I'm interacting with Charles, what I find is I find something that resembles patience and love and gentleness, kindness, self-control, something like that,
bruh, a fruit,
of some type.
Man, if it ain't all the fruits, at least one or three of them.
Just a couple few
fruit, man,
something.
Because like we talked about though. On Sunday, unfortunately, we find the most fruitless people.
I find them on Sunday, and then when you really find, I'm starting to get a little like this, I'll see something on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and I'll see something that's a little judgmental and a little whatever, and I'm like, I bet they say they're a Christian.
Bruh. I mean, the same could be said of, the things that, Drewski, you know what I mean? The skits.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, a lot of people have their opinions on it and whatnot. And I'm like, one through line that I've heard was, if it wasn't true, he wouldn't have anything to make fun of.
But that's what makes every joke funny. It's an exaggeration
and hit hard too. Like it can get real uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because it's an exaggeration of the truth, and so for whether it's right or wrong or whatever, it was funny because it was an exaggeration of the truth. And I know that a lot of folks got upset about it, but I don't say but again, he exaggerated the truth. Unfortunately, everybody in that position, has wore what he wore. And unfortunately, people, have been in those positions and done a lot of the stuff
that he done and said what he done.
Right.
Yeah.
So
here's my next question. Nice little segue. Thank you, him.
I set myself up.
Yeah, you did. No, you did. You did.
Okay.
Yeah. Pee Wee League T-ball set yourself up. No, you got it. Woo wee. So get ready for this one because it's coming your way, Doc. All right. So what are some of the areas that being on this side affords you to be able to address that you probably wouldn't have been able to address if you were still quote unquote a pastor associate pastor, assistant pastor, co-pastor, what, you know what I'm saying?
So when you're in it, you're trying to just, I mean, you're trying to hold everything together. You're trying
Yeah.
to, and all that. And so I think now you can look at what what is it really, what is it that God wants me to do? What is
Mm.
an experience in God? It is, what
Mm.
is God's will,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, how do I then align to that? But then what does ministry look like? How do, where do I see myself in doing that? Um, but then, because I don't have, the ministry doesn't need X, or people don't need Y,
Right, 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 right,
then
right.
I'm able to kind of really just, not design is not the word. Curate is
Yeah,
the word.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is it that I want to learn
Mm-hmm.
about this and things like that.
Yeah,
So, I've taken some Hebrew classes.
yeah. Oh, yes,
Oh
sir.
my goodness,
Yes, sir.
and so yeah, that yeah, I'm still stuff. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's so deep. There's so many things that we just like sidebar. Hineni, right? Hineni is essentially here I am, right? Or here am I. And it's the scripture, it's the word that's used in the moment where the I can't even recall his name right now. Lord forgive me. Samuel. Yeah, I believe it was Samuel.
Mm,
Um,
hear my Lord.
here am I,
Yeah.
right? And the thing of it is though, here am I, right? Hineni, one word, but it means so much more than just here I am, right? Uh, the way we write it, or the way it's actually expressed in English, is basically like saying I'm present, right here. You know what I mean? Like somebody called your name for roll. But in Hebrew, it's not only am I here, but I'm here and I'm ready to move. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
here and ready for
Mm-hmm.
action.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
And
What's
ready to
what's the
serve.
call?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where you want me to go? Where, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, Hebrew is so deep, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And there's so much more that I want to dive into that. Um, so, so have you come across any instances where you've realized in your present state of being you can address some things that you might not have been able to though on a Sunday morning?
Yeah. I think, it's I'm thankful for um the, maybe it's a reputation, but just the way that folks view me,
Yeah,
right? And that people still, hey, I never did like Pastor Goady, because my grandfather was Pastor Goady,
yeah,
and that's the real Pastor Goady.
bruh.
But hey, PG, man, I'm thinking about this, and I'm, whatever. And so I love that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really do
yeah.
cherish those moments and those opportunities. And so, but to really be able to do it, um, hey, look, now I want you to read the word for yourself.
Yeah, for
But
sure, for sure.
this is, but there's just not, well, this is kind of the way the ministry, this is what we think, or there's not a company line, if you will,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
you have to
yeah,
tote,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so, which is one of the reasons, going back to reading Hebrew, was I want to know what God said,
Right,
not what you said God said,
right, right, right,
but
right.
I want to know,
What he
because I
said,
read it for myself,
bruh,
what is he saying to me?
bruh.
The other thing I was going to get at too was in beginning to curate this experience and what it looks like. One of the things I mentioned to you was, I started looking at sheep farms,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
I want to
yeah,
go to a sheep farm, but then just doing the research and understanding that, and at least in Texas, there's a few,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
in North Texas, but there's a baby doll sheep farm, and then
Yeah,
there's another type, but they don't have both sheep
yeah,
and and
yeah.
so also every sheep don't go to the same shepherd, and right, and so just starting to to get that. But what is it?
What?
Not even from a spiritual standpoint.
Yes.
From a natural standpoint, what does a shepherd look
Right.
like, and what do she like?
Yeah.
How does he move, and how do sheep behave, and how do they act on a regular basis? Because I've heard what somebody has told me they do, and what somebody. But I want to know that for myself and get my own experience and have my own revelation, and let the Holy Spirit jack me up.
Yeah, I'm talking about. Yeah, so, bruh, okay. Woo, woo. All right. So here's the thing. I think, for me, I think not being. I don't know. I don't know. Let me try to find the correct words here. That part. I don't necessarily have to find the correct words. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, there's not a line that I need to toe, right? There's not this overarching, perspective of, is this what we as a congregation support, believe, say, da 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 da, like our bylaws and da da da. Like I don't have to abide by that, because that is not what guides what needs to be said. It's the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and the book. You see what I'm saying? So I think in this space, I'm afforded the opportunity to be a little more direct, a little more raw. You know what I'm saying? Not disrespectful, not ungodly, right? Not sacrilegious or anything like that. But yeah, I don't have to be concerned with, after I give you what I feel like the Spirit is leading me to tell you, or what I feel in my heart to share with you. I'm not getting ready to be concerned about whether or not the pastor or anybody else is going to be upset that I shared this with you, or I shared it with you this way. Like, nah.
Right.
Being the pastor, there's still the folks that you got to contend with. What, pastor said it like that? Like, I ain't think we did. You know what I'm saying? I ain't think we moved like that.
He didn't really mean it like that. What he meant to say was,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nah.
So yeah. So you don't have. I think as you were talking, I was like, it's the politics,
bro. I ain't got to deal with the politics, bro.
Right.
No politics. No politics. And that's the thing that I think kind of. I think that's the part that separates understanding the call versus walking in an office. You know what I'm saying? Because just walking in the office, yes, you're called, but if your focus is on walking in the office of pastor, I'm walking in the office of minister and so forth, then you're beholding to what we've said that office is supposed to look like. But if you're walking in the calling, don't know, God called, and what his parameters are, what his guidelines are, what his instructions are, ain't got nothing to do with what your office says, right? So I think that's an interesting space. But I mean, listen, bro, on the other side of Sunday, again, I feel like our main focus is, how do we continue to pour into people, to build up people, to encourage people, to correct when God says so, rebuke when God says so. Because I mean, shoot, Paul said it, right? The word is good for teaching, for building up, for rebuking.
Right,
like it's all of that. All that's included.
Right.
And so I think on the other side of Sunday, it affords us the opportunity to be able to do that in love, with grace.
Is it necessary?
That part. Is it necessary?
Is it truthful?
Is it true?
And is it in love?
And is it in love? If you got them three things, go ahead and say what you got to say. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Move the way you got to move.
Man, I can tell you how many
But
times.
if any one of those things is missing, if any one of those three is missing, shut it down.
Give me times in a space of unforgiveness I've said something
Mm,
that might have been true, but it wasn't necessary
bruh.
because I was in my feelings.
Bruh.
And then it wasn't in love.
Couldn't have been.
It couldn't have been in love, right? Man. Or
Bruh.
how many times I don't say something that is
Man.
necessary to say.
Yeah. Yeah. But, ooh-wee.
Yeah.
Woo. And Sunday. And please, family, feel me. Listen. I am not saying, and I will not say, that there's anything wrong with the church,
Absolutely not.
right? Organized church, congregations, your affiliation, who you go to church, pastor. No, I'm not saying any of that. That's not what I'm saying. I grew up in it, born and raised in it, love the church. Serving at First Methodist Plano now, right? Like I appreciate the church. However, what I am saying is there is a biblical structure, a biblical framework of what we're supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, the vast majority of churches don't look like that.
And there's some folks that God still has some people that have been hurt,
Yeah.
been we and I were talking, and they were like, we know some people that they not setting foot in a church.
No.
They believe in God.
Oh yeah. Know them, love them.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. They got no problem with God. They believe in Christ and all of that, but they are not going back to church. And so how I want to reach those people that maybe at some point they will.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's between
Yeah.
them and the Lord.
Yeah.
But whether you can't get to church, whether you don't want to go to church, wherever you are in that walk,
Yeah.
God still loves you.
God still loves you.
He still wants to talk
Yes.
to you and
Yes.
commune with you and,
Yes.
and
Yes.
all of those things.
Yes. And there's somebody that can meet you there.
Right.
There's somebody that can meet you there.
Right.
And that's the thing that I think is also important. It's like, again, not saying that the church should be done away with, not by a long shot. But what this is to say, what I am saying is that as we're supposed to go out, right? Go out and make disciples. That's the Great Commission. That's the call. That's the charge. That's the purpose. And that looks different for just about everybody, right? Some people it is teaching, preaching. Some people it's counseling. Some people it's interceding. Some people it's praying, and for some people it's just the life that they're living, right? The best godly life they can is the example, is the testimony. But again, I think reaching those that don't want to bust the doors open of a church is the space that's necessary so that should God point them in the direction of a congregation that they can go and fellowship with and lock in with, support and receive support from, they'll be ready. They'll be fit for it, right? At this point, there's a lot of people who don't feel like they are, right? And so, yeah, I want to be able to reach those that are not even looking to do that, but they still know that they need to hear from God. They know they need fellowship, and fellowship doesn't always look like what's encompassed in the four walls. So yeah, man, listen, all right, but I got another question.
All right, here we go.
I got another question because we said all that. Here's my next question: how true is this statement for you?
Oh Lord.
Once a pastor, always a pastor. How true is that statement for you?
Yeah. I think that you if you really were called, there is if you really were called to shepherd, you care about the sheep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And as I've grown in church leadership, I think the thing I get most upset about, right, is um, how the sheep being treated,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or mistreated, or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
and you have that, and so here I am, not in ministry, but I still care about
Yeah.
the sheep.
Yeah. 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 And for me, yeah, I truly believe. Yeah. Once a pastor, always a pastor. And again, it looks different as you progress. It looks different as you grow. It looks different as God moves you through the plans and purposes that He has for your life. But what we have both agreed and have shared and have said in so many words, pastoring is shepherding.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you, for those that are out there, believe, understand, or realize what the word pastor is, where it comes from, its validity within the scriptures. Shepherd. Christ is known as the good shepherd, not the good pastor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So shepherding is once a shepherd, always a shepherd. I mean, because there's so many different levels
And it
different
doesn't
ways.
matter. It doesn't matter how many sheep you have.
Bruh.
One sheep, 10,000 sheep. One talent, 10 talent. It doesn't matter.
You're still a shepherd. You're still a shepherd, yeah.
And if you have the one, and if he's giving you one talent, and you don't do anything with it, and you just bury it, he got some words for you.
That's deep, bruh.
If you got one person,
that's deep, bruh.
And then if we are kings and priests of our home,
bruh,
then you have one.
I'm glad you said it, and you lucky I can't tear up the house because Lady B would kick my butt. But flying elbow to your face because you ain't never lied. If you are married, bruh, you have a sheep. You got one.
You got one. You should only have one at the point too. Just by the way,
you got your one. And if you married and you have children,
then
you got more.
Then you got you,
bruh,
right there.
Like, bruh. So yeah, man. Because I've heard it said before. Actually, I heard it. I was watching a reel or something. I think it was on YouTube. It was either YouTube or Instagram. And somebody was like, how you calling yourself a pastor and you ain't got no flock? But it's like, wait a minute, if I have somebody who can call me and will call me rather consistently, there's a relationship here. And what they call for is pastoral care or counseling or, wisdom or any type of insider guidance or just to be an ear. Like if I am in constant contact with you for something like that, you're a sheep. I'm called to care for you. What we don't want to say is that there are sheep that go between different pastures. Because there's some sheep that are part of big pastures that still go to smaller shepherds because they know they can get the touch that they need and the attention that they need from this shepherd over here because he ain't got 10,000 sheep to look after. Just saying.
Right.
Just saying.
But the measure, where is it that God measures the quality of a shepherd by the amount of sheep?
I ain't never seen where it was the quantity that mattered. It's clear that the quantity is flexible, malleable, and spiritually impacted, right? Because 2 instances, these people are hungry. What y'all got? We ain't got but a few fish and a few loaves. Bring that. Now we feed 5,000 one time and 4,000 another time. One time we take up 12 baskets of leftovers, a basket for each of the disciples, mind you. The next time we take up 7. So it's rarely about it's rarely about the quantity. It's always about the quality. The quality, like, bro, okay. All right, listen. We can't, because we'll be on here forever. We'll be on here for a while. Because you're a troublemaker and you like to start stuff. You're a troublemaker and you like to start stuff. Everybody that comes sit on this couch, they be troublemakers and they like to start stuff. I'm trying to tell y'all. But no. Listen. I hope that this reintroduction to the Faith and Fire podcast has been a blessing. I hope you got some information out of it. It's not about entertaining you. It is literally 2 men that are having a conversation, and you happen to be present. So if there was something that was said or shared, or you got any questions, please leave a comment. Also, like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. All right. We'll be back. There's going to be more. We're going to continue to discuss on the other side of Sunday. We'll see what else God has for us to chop it up. But this is the Faith and Power Podcast. Podcast is all about sharing God's wisdom, insight, revelation, hope, and love, one conversation at a time. I am your host, Ken Bishop, and my guy, the man, Charles C.G. Goady. Thank you, bro.
Thank you,
I
sir.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
I'm excited. I'm looking
through.
forward to talking about, doing what we started doing, which was just having conversations, real life conversations that you and I were having at the table.
Yeah.
And then we just decided to turn the camera on.
Bruh.
And then 2, to really take that beyond what Christian living, what navigating today's world looks like on the other side of Sunday.
Well, that's it. On the other side of Sunday.